Action activate! Let's rock it! Here we come! There they go! Evil rise! 'Cause they know we're super soldiers! We got cool clothes! Real soon! You see our pose! Tension! Energize! Let's go! Time to ride! Combine! Grease ties!
Hello there, I am Gazbot, and this is Action Activate. And if I'm Gazbot and this is Action Activate, then with me, as always, a person who I will show right here. There he is.
It is I. It is the big dog here to do a review that we both thought we were going to do and maybe thought we weren't going to do. And we each have our own different covers for it. We're talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ninja Turtles 2, number
Issue
1.
Yes. I picked mine up. I was in LA visiting a friend, and I found this little comic store, a little hole in the wall, clean, but a hole in the wall. I think it's called like Secret Hideout or Secret Base. And I wasn't planning on getting it that day, but I was kind of in there, and like whenever I go into a comic store, I feel like I should buy something, you know. And I got it. This was the only cover they had. I know there's like lots of multiples. I like this cover. I have no issue with it, but I asked him if there was others to see, and he's like, "That's the only one we got." You have something different. What is yours?
I do. I have the, I think it's Gonti. I'm forgetting the last name. But the same artist who did all of the helmet covers for the other series.
Right. Now, here's my question. Because I got the trade. Actually, I might have it right over here somewhere. No, I don't. I got the trade paperback of the first series.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they already do Rangers holding Power Ranger-esque helmets?
They did Turtles holding the Red Ranger helmet.
Okay. And so what this is, pull it up again. I want to see.
This is a Turtle Ranger.
Oh, okay. So variation on the theme, but having seen that, I don't know what else is available, but I think I prefer mine, to be honest.
I think if you had a choice out of all of the covers for issue 1, they did an homage to TMNT number 1 in that
Mirage style.
Yes, with all of the Rangers, and I think
That's cool.
Yeah.
I will say though, this one apparently is part of a like if you get
a connecting cover, yeah.
And I could see if they released that as like a poster, I could see getting that. I would love to have that poster up.
Yeah.
I do love the art. And then this is Dan Mora. And Dan Mora did the covers of the last series, but not the interior. But this time, boom, he's doing the insides as well, which is something we talked about, me more than you. The art on the last one was not bad art. It was a little bit inconsistent at times. The biggest strike it had going against it is it wasn't Dan Mora, because I already liked Dan Mora. He was doing the covers. I think about this myself. Like, it's never happened to me. I'm not at that level ever. But if I ever worked on a book, it's like me working on a book and then like, oh, we're going to get, Art Adams to do the covers. Like on the one hand, wow, what an honor. But on the other hand, like then my interiors, like what? That's why. Like, I don't know. That being said, I would love to have Art Adams do a cover of a comic I'm doing. So,
as we dive into it, what are your initial impressions?
The art's better right away, like not just because the Ninja Turtle designs, and this is where I'm trying to be objective too. They're not my favorite version of the Ninja Turtle design I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's not bad at all. It's just it's aesthetically not my preferred version, but it is drawn very well.
Yep,
it's clearly the Ninja Turtles, and it is consistent. So I like it, and I'm fine with it.
Yes,
and that is the biggest change from the last one to this one. Story-wise, I love that it picks up acknowledging that the last one happened.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board. We can get into more details, but like, I'm like, yeah, let's see issue 2. I'm in. Let's go.
The thing about this that got me is I've read a fair amount of crossover comics of like various different characters that tie together, and some of them have multiple iterations, and usually it's with turtles, and others don't. And this is the first time in memory I could think of where this being the sequel to the previous one, it's as if like, yeah, this was always a thing. What do you mean? Like it's as if they always were in the same universe together.
Which arguably is true, sort of, based on the TV show and In Space crossed over. But yeah, it doesn't. They acknowledged in the first series like, oh, we've heard of Power Rangers. I think that the Turtles had heard of the Power Rangers, but the Power Rangers hadn't heard of the Turtles, which makes sense because Power Rangers are superheroes out of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the fact that it feels like if you didn't know comics, if you were just a kid reading comics, this would be the same as like X-Men teaming up with with Spider-Man. You wouldn't realize that this is not a normal thing in the universe and like and the continuity. Because at the end of the last one, like was it Shredder that blasted away with Rita? Yeah, and like and it's like, oh yeah, they've been gone for a while. It's like, oh, that's so cool. They're just like picking it right up. And I don't. Do you know if they plan on doing a second series or not?
I think Ryan Parrott wanted to the whole time, and it was really the thing of like, see how successful this is, see if all the ducks line up, do it again. Because like so far, and granted, this is only one issue out of this limited series, there better be a third. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm so invested in this.
I would read a third, but I mean, I'm okay if they wrap things up. They don't need to stretch it out.
No, it has to be a trilogy. I'm saying it right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at the art. Yeah, it's so tight, like, and clean and consistent. Like, and that's the thing. It's not even. I do like his style. Yeah, but it's more than that. It's just like it's very. He's a good comic book art. It's a very good sequential storyteller. Is what I come back to. Do we want to jump ahead to the big reveal?
We will in a set. Before we do, I want to give a spoiler warning for that for those who haven't read it. The thing I like though, and I got this a lot when I spoke to Ryan Parrott at Power Morphicon, is he first and foremost is a fan. So like just in the first 4 pages, it's like, oh yeah, who's been missing?
Casey.
Leatherhead and Slash and Karai and all, and it's like, dude, like, thank you for just like not going with
drop him.
He's and I'm sure we're gonna see them later, and that's the cool thing is like he has said multiple times he selfishly does comics that everybody else happens to like. He's like, I write this for what I want to see. It just so happens other people also want to see it. So he's like, you know what would be cool? A Power Ranger Ninja Turtle. So I made it. Like stuff like that.
That's awesome. I do. Here's my hope. My hope is that this does well enough that they do a second run of figures.
Yes.
Well, I don't need more Power Rangers or Ninja Turtle figures, as you can see behind me. And I managed to not need to get the original ones. So I kind of don't want this, but I do. That they have a successful run and do a new set of figures based on this series and this art. In which case, I'll probably be picking them up. Yeah.
All right. So this has been our synopsis kind of review. Yes. Now going forward, we're going to wave our hands so you know this is all spoilers going forward.
Yes. I like the Ninja Turtles using holograms.
I loved it. It gave me such great like Claremont X-Men vibes with Nightcrawler.
Yes, absolutely. But they also still had the colors as though they were Power Rangers, like their masks and stuff. And then they're working on the Triceratops armor.
Yeah,
Donnie and Billy, like picking up on that. Like
everybody just hangs out so flawlessly.
Yeah, the two leaders kind of complaining about their team, or they're complaining about Raph and Tommy as like the hotheads that are like they think they know everything. It's like they are actually excellent fighters, and like it's like it's so good.
Everything about it was great. I love kind of those pairings. Even like something as simple as when April was sitting at the table talking about stuff with Kimberly and Trini, and they're like, bad stuff's always going to happen. Like, don't stress about it. It's just going to happen. We're going to deal with it. It's fine. She's like, yeah, I know. I just kind of wish I knew ahead of time. And just everything about it was just awesome. I had so much fun reading this.
Me too. Going back to what you were saying about bringing in other characters and being a fan, I love what he does with the Rat King.
He looks so cool.
He looks so cool with his little teeth and everything, but also the way he is portrayed. Visually, I like how they draw him, but I like the way they actually make it like he's like a little king. He's like a little king of his little area, and even Raph like bows like out of respect. Like he's Raph, he's not like, I hear you, Eddie. He's like, okay, no, you are the Rat King. Like you own this little part of the sewer, and we don't want any trouble. Like. That's so cool because he's not a joke, he's like he's freaking weird, but he's not a joke,
The entire Rat King scene I thought of in the context of the first series, and I don't think, and again, no disrespect to the artist who did the first series, I don't think it would have had the same impact because Dan Mora is just so masterful that for those who haven't read it, I highly recommend checking out Claws, which is a series he did about Santa Claus with
I heard
Grant
2 of
Morrison.
those. There's more than 2, but
Yeah, I think there's like 3 specials or something. Like there's 2 series and maybe something like that. Go check it out; it's great.
What's the other
And
book he's known for too? There's another big one.
right now he's doing World's Finest.
That's not what I'm thinking. It was another like more of an indie title.
Power Rangers.
Just Power
I mean,
Rangers and Claws were the 2. I thought there was a third one. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe not.
yeah, but the thing that this scene reminded me of is in that series. I mean, everybody knows of Santa Claus, but in that series, he makes things like this, like Rat King is a prime example. Things that when you think of it, you're like, oh, Rat King, and he makes them so serious and gives them such like respect that
And
you just like
grounding. As fantastical as everything is, there's sort of a grounding where it's not.
Yes,
well,
and
it's
you
magic, it's mutants, it doesn't matter. It's like
yeah, and like if you think about Rat King in the context of like the animated series, it's this goofy guy who likes rats and lives in a sewer, and this was just like the eyes here and the eyes later with Casey just got me the way he did
funny.
it.
I like the eyes, but I keep coming back to the teeth too, because you see his teeth, and these are the teeth of someone who is living in the sewer, eating raw food, not brushing their teeth, and getting messed up teeth, but also they look rat-like, but not in a goofy, I've got buck teeth kind of way. But it's like, oh yeah, he's and even in this picture, he's right next to the other rat. Like, look, there's the teeth. Like, so I agree with you on the eyes, but I felt like the eyes was good, but the teeth was like even more subtle, so I appreciated it more.
Yeah. Everything there was great.
Okay, my one complaint.
Okay.
Well, my one big complaint, I should say. And it's funny because I complained with the previous artist a bit about the turtles mainly, but a little bit about storytelling here and there. And Dan Moore, I have almost no complaints, and I mostly praise for the storytelling until we get to this page. Do you remember this page?
Is it the prison one? So that's very manga.
But here's the thing. My issue isn't the idea of making it super sequential and having one big image. I've seen that a million times. It doesn't flow very well. It's not, it's very counterintuitive. Like, I mean, I've been reading comics forever. I've made comics. So when I'm reading it, I get to the end of the page here. My eye goes up here.
I know.
And when I looked at that, and here's the thing, there's a couple arrows, which I also, if you have to have an arrow, you did something wrong. That's just my opinion. And maybe the editors put that in later or whatever. But so I read it as smash. And that makes sense because it shows them, again, they're going to bust them out. So it's not like, wait, oh, that makes no sense. Where am I? And I go smash. And then it's like, sometimes I really love my job. And then like, oh, wait, now he's smashing back into the building. Wait, hold on. Oh, I'm supposed to start down here. Oh, and then I go up and then it sort of goes, it's not well done.
I think the ending fitting with the beginning as starting points, I think was the only issue with this. I liked how they did it. I thought it was cool, but I see the confusion because I also got confused at first.
And that's, again, it doesn't ruin the book. It doesn't make him a bad artist, but that is a failure. And I mean that in the literal sense, like not like what a failure he is, but it is a failure of communication. It is a failure of storytelling because it's the only time in the whole book where I went, wait, what? What is, huh? And it, like, that's a mistake in my book. That's I don't think that was a choice they made. If this was like some kind of vertigo, drug trip, mind control, and you're like, what's happening? That could be an intentional choice. I don't think that's what happened here. I think they thought it would read clearer than it did. And then the fact that somebody put arrows in, somebody realized it wasn't going to read as clearly as it should.
Fair.
So that's my big critique of the book. I have a smaller gripe, but that was my big one.
So moving on after this, again, all of the pairings, that was my favorite part of the whole book.
The big splash page is pretty nice.
Yes, that was so awesome. Again, a poster, great.
Yeah, I will say, as much as I'm saying he does a good job with the turtles, I think he does a better job with the Rangers. I think his Rangers are perfect, and his turtles are very good.
Well, here's the thing. There are less versions of the Rangers than there are of the turtles, though, too.
True. Yeah, and again, like it comes down to personal taste. There aren't any mistakes in what he drew. There's nothing wrong with what he drew.
Yeah.
But the Rangers are perfect.
The pairings of the villains I thought were great, just as much as the pairings of the heroes, but also like in the fight, one thing I liked that they put in just to say, like, why aren't you guys joining? Like, I'm waiting my turn, like in the movies, where it's like, yeah, all 10 of you would dumpster these two guys, but I'm glad you've acknowledged that you want to have it be cool in the story.
Yes, that's true. And and the bad guys, like in that scene, I didn't like when Goldar and Rocksteady are just like complaining about the little like, why are they even? They're ridiculous. Why are they fighting us? It makes you think of Drax talking about paper people. Like.
What was that? Oh, I like when they scared Baxter Stockman. I thought that was funny too.
Oh yeah, when they were like telling, yeah, that's where they're like, oh, here's a way you could fix the transducer, and he's like,
And he's just,
Yeah.
But all right, let's talk about the real meat of the end of this comic.
So Casey's there, and he's acting a little funky, and it seems like something's wrong, and then he betrays them, and he knocks out some turtles, and you're like, whoa! And then a second later, power extreme, and he comes, and he's some sort of ranger.
What do you think of this design?
I don't like it.
I don't like it for Casey.
That's what I mean. As a Toku hero, even as a superhero, it's nice. It's not a badly designed suit. The helmet's cool. It's got what it's going on. I don't like it for Casey. And I don't like. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think eventually, like this is obviously evil, corrupted Casey, and he's this chaos agent X or whatever because he's got an X on him. The only thing that looks a little bit Casey is he's got the little grill on his face, and his weapon is sort of kind of like it's a scythe, which is I guess like kind of like a hockey stick. I don't hate it. And I hope that eventually he gets to become a good ranger, and maybe it's more of like a White Ranger amalgam or something like that. But I feel like, as weird as this is to say, like if he's supposed to be evil and chaos, this doesn't read that way to me. You know what I mean? This reads like a Kamen Rider or something. It just doesn't look.
It doesn't feel as chaotic as I think they're trying to make it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see where they go with it. But it is an example of it's a good drawing. It's a nice design. I don't see that being Casey's personality, good or evil. You know what I mean? Like it just looks. I don't know. It just doesn't match what I would put in my head. Embracing, yeah. And if he just powered up, it probably still wouldn't have been my favorite. But he literally says embracing chaos, power up, power extreme, and I feel like it just should be different somehow.
We will see as it goes, but yeah. I did like the fighting they did after that, the way that they were able to get away, and kind of leads into what happened to Casey. Find out next time, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the book right there.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I did like it. My big gripe was that one scene. My smaller gripe is the Casey suit. But again, it's a small gripe because we'll see where they go with it. We'll see how they explain it. We assume it's not like this is his final form. He's either going to go back to being a human, normal, or become a good guy ranger or something.
Or more evil.
Or more evil. Maybe, but like, will that reflect in his form? I don't know. I guess, yeah, I don't know. I feel like he should have looked more like heavy metal or something, like more spiky, more image extreme, like, or more chaos, like a barbarian, like, because Casey is like, to me, Casey is always like, he's able to hang out with the turtles who have superpowers and ninja training and live in the sewer because he's a maniac. He's not the strongest, best fighter. He's just a maniac. And he's got a heart of gold, but his head is just, And so I feel like if he turns evil, he doesn't turn evil like Tommy turns evil. He should be just way out there. Let's like
Werewolf RJ.
Yes. Yeah. Just like out of control. Not like, oh, I see, I've turned evil with you. He should just be like, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, but we'll see. I still like it. I still like it better than the first one. And I liked the first one, so I'm in. This is triple spoilers because I'm going to talk about something that didn't happen in this issue. So if you've only read this issue and haven't had any other spoilers, don't want to stop listening.
Yep.
Do you know the spoiler I'm talking about?
For issue 4?
I don't even know what issue it is, but there's a very prominent image. I'm going to say
it's a cover.
It's a cover. Okay. What it looks like is the Power Rangers, or at least their colors, as mutants. So like the Red Ranger colors with the diamonds, but as like a big monster mutant. I think that looks awesome.
Yes.
It's cheesy and stupid in the exact right way. And what I especially like, what I hate is that I know it's coming. But what I love is that I didn't think of that. Yeah. It never occurred to me that they would do that. And I should have, but I'm like, oh, that's so good. Like even if the rest of this story stinks, I'm excited to see that. Because it's like, yeah, why would you not do that? What a good idea.
Yeah. Because, looking back at the first series, it was like, oh, what if we made the Turtles Rangers? Okay, then I guess the Rangers will be ninjas, but not ninjetti. Fine. Right. What if we give them mutagen? Oh. Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be awesome, but even if it's terrible, it's gonna be fun.
It's going to look awesome at the very
The
least.
cover looks awesome. If nothing else, we got that cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll probably do the next few issues. These will be little bonus episodes.
Yeah.
About once a month. And actually, we'll talk about that in the show proper that we're gonna do next.
What's your final verdict?
Thumbs up. Big thumbs up.
What's your letter grade?
Oh, we're gonna do that. We just.
Yeah. I know you hate doing it, which is part of the reason.
What's a letter A? Is Sin City the first Sin City from Frank Miller? Is that a letter A?
No, it's all context. This is an easy A for me.
I'll give it an A-.
Okay.
An A- because
of the rooftop scene. I got you.
Rooftop scene, yeah, and more than the Casey thing, because the Casey thing is a choice that maybe I don't agree with, but that rooftop thing really bothered me. And it's weird because it bothers me more when an artist is better. Like I read some indie comics where it's like they draw as bad as me or worse, and I'm like, well, they're whatever. But this is so slick and polished and perfect. I'm like, what'd you do there, buddy? What'd you do? Like so, A-. But I'll definitely be getting the rest of the series.
Same.
Unless I see something crazy, I might. Well, let's say I might be locked into this. Build a collage. What's the word for it? I can't think of the word.
For the connecting covers?
Yeah, I might be locked into that. But if there's a poster coming out, like I don't know what covers I'm gonna get, but we'll be doing that. Meanwhile, I don't know when this is going up. We have other videos.
We'll figure it out. This will be up eventually.
We have more than one video coming out a week for the next week or two. This is one of them. The other thing we're doing that'll be coming out is Mystic Force review, and there'll be another contest winner a video that I'll be putting up. So there's at least those three. But until then, I've been Gazbot.
Still the big dog.
And
to the power. Boo 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 boo. Yeah, the thing that I love and hate about new launches when it comes to pretty much any comic series now is there's so many covers that thankfully there was one standout that I wanted from the series, but sometimes there's like four and I'm like, I can't justify that.
What I find, I'm not one that usually gets multiple covers in general because I like to get the trade and that usually reprints all of them. But occasionally I'm like, I really want that cover, and almost without fail, that's the one that's like 300 to 1 and now it's $50. Like, so when it's just two random covers, it's usually more often than not I get the series artist because it matches what it is. Talk about this again in a month.